This is the reading that describes the current energies that the Sacred Union Collective may be encountering today. I certainly felt myself caught up in a wave of energies that were very, very helpful for me as I allowed myself to sort of process some new information that had come along. And the way that I do my intuitive readings is I do not do traditional tarot. The readings are not time specific, so whenever you view it can be when you really will most resonate it or need to see it. I do not deal with astrology per se. I am not a channel. I am not a medium. I am an empath, and I am very conversant with energy, have been for a long time. And I consider what I'm doing with these readings translating current energies and using images as well as words to bring the opportunity to see, feel, hear, and experience moments of insight and direct knowing in our daily lives. Okay, so I'm Anaiis, and you are watching this on the Patreon Sage YouTube channel. Thank you very much for visiting and stopping by, and please like and share and let other people know, because my perspective is somewhat unique, and it is entirely focused on Sacred Union journey. And I do appreciate that some people do self-identify as twin flames, and that's wonderful, and I hope that you'll find some of this information valuable with you as well. This is a journey that I'm on myself. I've been on a spiritual journey my entire life, and on the journey of resuming the journey of Sacred Union in 2016, and have been working intently on it, specifically in astonishing ways, which include gathering together a soul tribe and doing some really beautiful earth grid work and other deep healing processes around the world. I begin with the energy of Source, which this card represents for me energy currents and inspiration coming directly from Source into our environment at the time that I am sharing this reading information. So first we have the Ten of Air, which is all about coming to a completion of a cycle of understanding valuable truth, transparency, and trust information that we need to appreciate coming from Source. So in this card you can see we are being invited to look up and to look at each individual element in our awareness and to align ourselves with truth and transparency as part of our connection to Source. And from the Ten of Air, we come to the Nine of Air, which is also about being in a relationship, beautiful dynamic relationship with the element of air. And in my experience, this earth element is so vast, and it moves up. We move from earth, fire, water, air, and then we move into the ethers, we move into the etheric, we move into the unseen and the mystery. So what I like about what is happening today is we have the 9-10 of air, where we are going from a state of, I don't know what's really going on here, but I'm going to trust in the truth and transparent energies coming from Source. And then as this energy is coming through the dimensions and coming through the layers of our subtle bodies, we're finding that it is already organizing itself so that we can perceive it and we can recognize it as a sacred circle of information, and that we can spread our wings and receive this energy and be willing to move in whatever direction we are called to move. That will be an energy of wholeness. So I see this as really gorgeous invitation from Source to be contemplative, to take the dynamics that we're in, to look at them closely, to bring them in and integrate them, and to transmute them so that we're able to bring them into our daily environment in a way that is useful in our journey. So from the Nine of Air, we come to the Page of Air. And again, this is a beautiful step down of energy and integration. And you can see that this Page of Air is in a state of joyous, blissful, sensuous surrender. And all of this information that was so confusing has become one clear, coherent insight. So that's a really beautiful dynamic from Source today. Now on the Divine Feminine side, this coherence coming in from Source has brought the feminine to the point where she can turn Fortune's wheel using this energy and information. And it was interesting because if you've watched the longer teaser video for this, one of the things that I mentioned was that I was reading those insights from my journal, and the first sentence that I wrote in my journal this morning before doing this reading was, "I have turned the wheel." And it was interesting that this card came up. So I like to see and I like to share how this dynamic has gone from air and in the ethers and higher energy realms, and it's now beginning to come into a dynamic that can be appreciated in the earth plane energy. And there's a really lovely movement here of the repeating motion of this energy coming in so that we move forward. The Divine Feminine moves forward with a sense of clarity and empowerment and being willing to take responsibility for turning Fortune's wheel. That's a co-creative step. Next, for the Divine Feminine, we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is the one who is aligned with mystery, aligned with Source, aligned with intuition, aligned with direct knowing, and also translating the unseen into the appreciation of a direct experience. That's my interpretation of this card. That's how I view this card. So I feel that for the Divine Feminine, she has chosen to incorporate her sense of direct connection of information and knowing and bringing it to the turning of the wheel and following through with what comes next once the wheel is turned. Next, for the Divine Feminine, we have the Page of Fire. And this is taking all of this air that's coming through from Source and bringing it into the next most needed element, fire and passion. So this represents a beautiful, lighthearted recognition of our co-creation is on its way to us. And we're watching it come, and we're ready to receive it. And I feel that with this card and with this card, that the divine feminine, with using her connection to source, intuition, has turned fortune's wheel so that we can see and perceive that our passion is bringing our co-creation into view and into our experiential reality at many levels. It's on its way. All right. And we just have to make the choice to be open to see it, feel it, hear it, know it, and receive it. And turning fortune's wheel and using that kind of power is also a beautiful moment of taking a risk to co-create with Source. All right, on the divine masculine side, we have the Three of Fire, and this also reflects waiting and a kind of stillness, not rushing forward, but still in a place of passion, of being on fire in a quiet way, perhaps pausing to reflect. Not quite the Hanged Man as you would think of in traditional tarot, but this divine masculine, if we want to look across, is looking at this. This is a very small craft. This is a much bigger event, a much bigger love. This is a doubling of this energy. We go from 3 of fire to 6 of fire when the divine masculine allows himself to connect with the energy of the divine feminine. It's exponential increase in energy. All right, now I would also like to point out with you that in this reading, the way the cards have come out today, we have 3, 6, and 9. And I don't know whether you're familiar with Nikola Tesla, but one of the things he understood about energy was that when we access the 3, the 6, and the 9, we become co-creative masters with unlimited amounts of energy at our disposal. Free energy. And so I think it's interesting that we have this combination of cards in this reading where I am really trying to communicate with you the process and how we work in the process and how we allow ourselves to open into the process of sacred union as a part of our journey of ascension. Okay. Now next, for the divine masculine, we have the 5 of Earth. And the 5 of Earth, as you can see, represents the energy of being in a confused state. And I would venture to say that for the divine masculine, this card, the 10 of Air, is reflecting back to the grounded divine masculine on Earth. This sense of confusion and not knowing what to focus on, and feeling withdrawn and feeling closed off. And I feel that the step down of the energy is trying to say, it's okay, you're going to be able to see this shortly. You're going to be able to organize this information in a way that makes sense to you. Just be patient with yourself. Be patient. And so you can see that there's a bit of a disconnect between the 3 of Fire, which does have some passion still in it, some energy in it, and the 5 of Earth, which is turning away from the available energy and being, in a sense, lost in one's perhaps disappointments, perhaps confusion. So this may be a current energy for the divine masculine today. He is reflecting And perhaps he's going to be taking a journey out of passion and into a grounded reflection for what he needs to know about his own journey into a sacred union. And he's taking his time to see this. And I would also like to just reflect that the divine feminine fortune's wheel, and turning this wheel is reflected in these circular shapes on the 5 of Earth. It's as if there's too much choice. There's an inability to just see what's essential and to gather it together with power. And this wheel is turning, and it's turning, and it's going across the space between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, saying, turn this wheel with me. I am not turning it against you. Turn this wheel with me. Let's do this together. And we have the 4 of Earth here on the divine masculine side, which is, I don't know that I'm ready or willing to do that in the current energy that I'm in. I don't know that I'm ready. But you'll see that there has been a transition here. In this card, the divine masculine energy is looking away, and this arrangement of energy is out of balance. And here we see that there is an opening up. There's a looking and seeing and being a willingness to open and see and reflect in a more open way, and that the wings have opened, and that the imbalance has been somewhat attended to, and something has been dropped. Something has been let go of in order to move into this next arrangement of current energy. So I also see this as a reflection of a patient and gentle process between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's powerful, but it's gentle. It's powerful, but it's allowing Fortune's wheel to turn in a gentle way, in alignment with divine timing. That's the basic information that we're working with today. And I feel that the overall flow of the current energy is coming directly from Source, which is take the time that you need to come into balance with all of the truth, transparency, and trust that you need to bring all of this complex process and information into coherence. So we do have this beautiful, I would say this for me is the central energy of the reading. All right, the next working with Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom Oracle, I drew additional cards, and this one is flexibility, and this is coming from Source. This is Source energy, just asking us to be nimble, to be willing to turn ourselves upside down and find a beautiful balance within. And here again, you'll see there are 3 circular mounds that are saying if you can find your balance in the center of this, you will be in a place where celebration and balance and power will be coming into your physical experience. You will experience this balance in your physical body. Now for the Divine Feminine, Loyal Heart came up. And for those of you who are interested in numerology, the 3 and the 5 become an 8. And there is a key floating here, which is an interesting little subconscious message. And these two birds, owls of wisdom, are looking directly at each other, and they are creating the shape of a loyal heart. And so I feel for the divine feminine energy today, she is taking the Wheel of Fortune. She is taking the energy and insight and power of the High Priestess. And she is also combining the power of the energy of fire and passion to demonstrate her loyal heart to the process of sacred union. For the Divine Masculine, we have breathe. Breathe. It's a 2029. For those of you who are interested in the numbers, that comes to an 11. And here we see reflected in this the energy of just relax. It's reflecting again the circular energy in the other cards. Relax. Go from this space of anxiety and open up even more and come into a place of repose within the center of yourself, Divine Masculine, and allow the process to become even simpler. We're going from this expansion of very fragile wings to a sense of things being more steady. There's more space. We're looking at the color of blue, which for me represents the throat chakra. Okay, and communication, and being able to be open, receiving communication, taking it in, integrating it, and going from a state of holding in a kind of a tense way, a way of that may reflect a fear will choice, transitioning that into balance and holding very lightly into the information that you will find is available to you when you allow yourself to breathe and to feel. So this represents the opportunity to choose to become a little bit ungrounded, to come into feeling, to come into a discovery within by feeling within, not by thinking and organizing and having your antenna up to see if you can find a solution from somewhere outside of yourself, but by dropping back into what is it that you feel. What do you feel for your Divine Feminine within you and externally? Do you feel that if you choose to breathe and you choose to allow yourself to become flexible and in balance, and allowing yourself to come into balance with what you feel, with what you think, that you may discover that what's really available for you in the current energies with your Divine Feminine is a loyal heart. And that you may have been projecting or misperceiving or making assumptions that there was something else besides a loyal heart being presented to you by your Divine Feminine external counterpart. And this also represents learning to trust the heart center within you, Divine Masculine, learning to rise, bring your energy into a balanced place, up your central vertical bliss channel, and discover your own loyal heart. And then you'll be able to meet your Divine Feminine with your loyal heart. And then in the mirroring process, when you do that, she will be just able to breathe. And the mirroring will move, and it will move out of projection and into balance with Source. Okay. So I think it's very interesting that these came out. And this is where I'm going to conclude the general reading, and there will be an extended reading, and if you want to join me in that, the link is in the description box. But if this is where you move into your own flow of current energies for the day, and you've resonated with something here and you've found it useful, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for watching, and see you next